Yes.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
I can't hear you. Are you click that button that you need to? Fred, Psycho Fred.
I can barely hear
Can you hear
you.
me? Wait.
Barely.
Oh, there we go. Because you know what was my headphones. This is what you get when you use your daughter's headphones. Don't use. Okay. Hi, Fred. What are you doing with a mask and hand sanitizer? What's going on?
Well, let me just say, yo, Adrienne, I am not your father.
No.
I am at home practicing social distancing, as you can see.
Wait, is that a full bottle of Germex? Oh my God! Everyone, go to Fred's house and get the Germex. Seriously, Fred, that's like shoving it all. Look at what I have. Where'd you get it? How many more bottles do you have?
I got it from the Dollar Tree in Ormond next to KFC.
When?
Last week, right before they started selling out.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's hard to get right now. Really hard. Jeez, you're lucky. So, Fred, why do you wear a mask in public?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Well, for not just my safety, but the safety of others. A friend of mine did a speech the other day on these are more to protect the public than ourselves. So if I were to sneeze, I don't have all those contaminated airborne products lingering in the air for 4 hours, getting other people sick. So it's more of a consideration type thing. And since all these places are out of masks, I decided to use the one that was given to me at our leadership class.
I'm yellow. Anyone who knows about Dr. Pepper's, oh my God, escape me. What was it called? Oh, or Sim City?
Yes, the Sims class, correct, for Leadership Daytona. Correct.
I'm yellow. That was something else. Fred, thank you. Because and they actually say when you just speak, you have spit sometimes comes out. It really, I think wearing the mask is separating the people that are selfish from the people that aren't. So most people, if you know that they're wearing a mask and you kind of look at their personalities, it makes sense. They're caring, giving, loving, all those beautiful positive words. And then when you run into someone who's not wearing a mask, you kind of think to yourself, like, how do you not wear a mask when you know you have an opportunity to protect someone? The thought to make someone else sick, I couldn't even live with myself. I just couldn't. So thank you. What's in your fingers too? I feel like I'm looking at gloves. Yep, that's the way to do it.
Angel, keep it all blue.
That's right. the blue team. So Fred, you and I are just getting to know each other. I think in the past year we've seen each other at many events, but not really, known. And we have never had anyone connect us, which is interesting. And when we get back to the real world, we need to start to connect people together so that, because it's okay to say, hey, blah, 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 meet blah, 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 and boo, get together. So when I got Leadership Daytona, which I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to get back, I decided that I would go on to LinkedIn and connect with all my fellow classmates. And then it's funny. And then that day that you accepted me, we were sitting across the room from each other. And you're like, are you the one that sent me the LinkedIn? So yeah. It was really nice. And it's nice to get to know everyone. So it's nice to have this time to get to know you and to learn more about you. I don't even know where you were born. I don't even know anything about Fred.
Okay, well, let's start with I was born in Midway Island, Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah, it's a U.S. territory of Hawaii. My mom was working at the Navy Exchange in Subic Bay in the Philippines because he's Filipino. And my dad's American. He was in the Navy and saw her, but he was too afraid to ask her out. So we had a friend ask her out. And her answer was, before I say yes, tell your friend that if he shaves and gets cleaned up nicely, I'll say yes. So he did. And then 2 years later, I was born.
That's so sweet. Philippine women are so beautiful. They're just beautiful women.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I just lost her in September.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is really hard. That's very, very tough. Is your dad still alive?
No, I'm. And here, let me give you a backstory, Adrienne. My dad passed away in 2001. My mom just passed away this past September, and my brother passed away suddenly of a heart attack on December of 2019 at 38 years old. So right now, I am the only living Bergeron next to my niece and my nephew and my two aunts and my sister-in-law.
Wow. Wow. And so your brother had did he realize that he had anything with his heart? It just came out of nowhere?
Just snuck up on him.
That's scary. And then do they test you to make sure that that's not hereditary?
Here's what happened is right after that happened, according to his wife, he was going to get checked up earlier, but got so busy with his business that he was going to reschedule it. And right after he passed, my sister-in-law and I were talking, and she was getting her kids checked. And this was before I moved back to Florida. She said, do me a favor. She said, I already lost my husband. I don't want to lose any other family members. She said, do yourself a favor and get checked. And I did. And I had just started going to the gym in Georgia for about 3 months. And one of my routines was the treadmill. When I found out that happened, I stopped going to the gym for a couple of years. And I want to go back, but I'm taking baby steps to get back because that's still sunk in my head as far as what happened to him.
Wow. So do they set you up with an EKG and have you do like a stress test?
Yes. And everything was fine. He said there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and everything was kind of balanced out for me, but he just told me to just keep watching my diet, get exercise. And really what I do for exercise now, especially during this pandemic, is I walk every day. I take a morning walk for about 20 minutes, sometimes longer if it's round trip or, I got to run to 7-Eleven or something like that and come back.
You're funny.
Or walk to 7-Eleven, should I say.
Fred, you know what? I can understand that fear. Like nobody can really talk you out of that feeling that wow, I'm so sorry. So what have you learned from this then with actually losing your entire immediate family?
Don't take anything for granted, and pay attention to any slight signs of health issues, and think things of that nature. If it's in, especially now, just if you got to sneeze and it's consistent, or you're coughing in it, go get yourself checked out. I mean, even if you have to pay a couple bucks to, that little bit of money you pay will pay for itself in the long run.
Yes, so true. That's so
I'm
true.
fortunate enough to get VA benefits, so I go to the VA with the exception of now as often as I can.
Wait, so did you serve, or is that from your family? So you're born in Hawaii, but then when did you come to the United States? Did you serve? Where did you live? What brought you to?
What happened was after my parents got married, my dad's family was from Massachusetts.
Okay.
So they moved there. So that was where my mom got acclimated to the United States. And from what my grandparents said, she could speak very little English at the time, and I couldn't either. And my only word I could remember was shot. So I'd walk around pinching everybody in the butt going shot, because that's where I remember getting shot as a kid.
Oh my God.
And my grandfather introduced my mother to snow. She had never seen snow before. And he played a joke on her, gave her a snowball, and she didn't know what to do with it. So she just threw it in the toilet and just let it melt. Because she had never seen snow, had no idea what it even was she was holding.
Wow. Oh, I love this story. What part of Massachusetts?
The Dalton Pittsfield area, a very small part of Massachusetts. And if you've ever heard of the relief pitcher Jeff Reardon, he used to pitch for the Boston Red Sox and briefly for the Braves and the Reds. That's his hometown.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then from there, tell me a little bit more. So then were you in a service? Were you in the service?
I joined later. I'm what you call a second generation Navy Seabee. My dad was in the Navy. And for those who don't know what the Seabees are, they're the grunts of the Navy. They're the ground pounders. And I like to say the only time we see water is if it's raining or we're taking a shower.
That's awesome. And so second generation means your dad was it. And then, so how old were you?
I was, you're making me tell my age, Adrienne. I was just over 19.
Wow. Okay. So how many years ago was that?
Yeah.
Wait, so are you were you born in but were you close to 1962? Is that close to when you were born? I don't want to know your age. I don't want to know your age. I'm just wondering if you were born 1962.
A few years after.
Oh, so I'm older than you. Just remember that I'm older than you. So thank you for your service. That's awesome. That is really great. And then where did you serve? Where were you when you were?
Well, most of my time was reserve time. So most of my time was either in Orlando or Jacksonville. My first duty station of all places was Key West, Florida.
Wow.
So I went there right at the starting of lobster season. We were coming back right when lobster season was starting out there. I got to scuba dive because I'm scuba dive also. So I got to scuba dive out there. And my most memorable place during the Bosnia War was when I got to go to Rota, Spain. I was in Spain for 9 months.
Wow. Wow. So how long were you in the Navy?
12 and a half years.
Oh my God, Fred, that's really beautiful. Thank you. That is really, see, this is so important to get to know. This is our live one-on-one. So, and then, okay, so now, were you ever married?
No, ma'am.
Let me just call People's Magazine to say we have someone single here. So very nice. And then what brought you to Volusia County? Because you were in Georgia, you said?
Unfortunately, my mom and dad got divorced, and while we were visiting my grandparents in Massachusetts, she met a guy when she was still in Hawaii, and they got married, and he was from Palm Coast. He was from the Flagler County area, and convinced her to move here. And we were living in Flagler County at the time. And a funny story, Adrienne, is I was going to Flagler Palm Coast High School at the time, which at the time that was the only high school in Flagler County. Now they have two, and a lot of the people I met were saying, "Oh, you ought to come surfing with us, man." They said the waves we catch around here are like 2 to 4 feet, and I laughed at them. I said, "Are you serious?" I said, "I learned to boogie board on 8 to 10 foot waves."
It's so funny.
So I was like, those aren't even baby steps. I said, those waves are still sucking on a bottle.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah. And then what brought us to Ormond Beach was my mom got a job at Ormond in the Pines at the nursing center there. And she just figured it was easier if we just moved here. So that's what brought us to Ormond Beach. And then I ended up going to school in Georgia. And then when my brother passed away 10 years ago, I decided to move back to support my mom because she, I felt it was the right thing to do. Plus I had gotten laid off from my government job. So I just figured it was the right thing to do.
That's beautiful. Wait, so growing up in Flagler, that's kind of funny because, they call it like the sleepy town, but now they're finally seeing growth. So I have no idea what Flagler looked like years ago. So when you were growing up, was there even a store? I know it sounds funny.
Well, let's put it this way. I helped build the McDonald's that's over there in Palm Coast.
Really?
When I was 16, I got hired to work at McDonald's. I trained at the one over by Seabreeze High School to work at that one. So I actually helped start that McDonald's in Palm Coast, right off of the interstate. Wow. And I don't know if you know this, but the old exit number was 91C. I don't know what it's called now. We used to live on Fernham Lane, and when I first moved back, my mom and I wanted to take a look at where we used to live. Adrienne, we couldn't even recognize it because there's so much shrubbery now, and trees. We couldn't recognize our street. We drove right by it 3 times.
Wow. That I would have thought there was growth. I mean, because it really had, it's not the sleepy town anymore, right? There's a lot of businesses coming in. I love seeing the Flagler growth. It's also interesting to me because you have Flagler, which the beach side, and where you can get whole belly clams because I like whole belly clams. Right. And then the other side by the airport, which is more rural. It's a beautiful place to live. Very quiet, very quiet. So is this area. I mean, when my son was here from Shanghai, he's like, you live in the country. This is very country to him. And so he got bored quickly. So now tell me, okay, so now you're here, you're Ormond. And then from that point, where do you live now? Are you still in Ormond?
I'm still in Ormond.
Oh, that's nice. I think you're just down the road from me. Are you So Ormond on the Pines is off of Flagler by Wells Fargo?
Well, the Clyde Morris.
Clyde Morris. Clyde Morris, because I live across from Hinson Middle School.
Well, yeah, you're not that far from me. I live in the Trails.
Yeah, I love the Trail. That's really a pretty area. The shopping center, by the way, is really interesting. Like, and it's funny because I kept thinking to myself, why is Publix there? They're closed. They closed that Publix, right?
They're remodeling it. They're going to be closed for about a year.
Oh, they're okay. Yeah, it never really seemed to fit in. It's an interesting mix of stores and restaurants, but I don't know. It just seemed weird. The Publix right there. You wouldn't expect that. Are you have a little cold right now, or do you just normally have a cough?
No, I'm just scratching my nose. That's all.
Do you smoke? Are you a smoker?
No.
Good.
You want to hear a funny story, though? I used to Clinton smoke just to blend in, but I never really smoked. I was too afraid to inhale.
Oh, you're so funny. You know what? I am that person that can have a cigarette and then be fine, not have it again. My mom would smoke cigarettes and to have bowel movements.
Wow.
So if you told me that, it actually does work. So maybe it's something in the system, but I haven't had a cigarette in a long time, and definitely not now, obviously. But I don't have an addicted personality, so like I can have something but not like be addicted to it. It's weird. I don't know, but I don't get addicted to anything. So tell me a little bit more. So I love the Daytona Chamber. So you're FICO Fred. You're known as FICO Fred. You're
Yes.
a realtor, a photographer, send out cards, and FICO Fred. So there's four parts of it. What's the busiest part of Fred?
The public speaking part.
I love it. Tell me a little bit more about that then.
Well, I started out in Toastmasters back in August of 2014, and
Nice.
I actually found out about it from the Holly Hill Chamber because the director there, Rose, was in Toastmasters at the time, and she knew my story about being homeless and how I wanted to be a homeless advocate. And she said, if you're going to be a homeless advocate, you definitely need to consider Toastmasters. So I found the club in Ormond, went to one meeting as a guest, went the following week and joined, and actually won a contest actually won something called Table Topics.
I love that. I got my competent communicator. I was the VPPR of Executive Toastmasters in Tucson, Arizona. And I was going to go to the one over at Embry-Riddle, but I really have a hard time finding it on Monday nights. Which one do you go to? Do you go to the same one that's in Embry-Riddle on Monday?
Well, there's actually like 4 clubs that meet on Mondays. There's the one in Embry-Riddle. There's one at Advent Health that meets on Monday nights.
Oh.
There is Coastmasters that meets at the government building in Bunnell.
Okay.
And then there's the one I belong to, Horizon Stars, which is in Orange City.
Oh, wow. You go all the way to Orange City. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Very interesting. I just got to get myself to the one over at Embry-Riddle. And yeah, that's my goal. All right. Can you share the story of being homeless? Would you mind?
No, I don't mind at all. I love sharing my story. How it started out, Adrienne, is I was working at a tire factory, had a very good paying job. Granted, it has ups and downs, and I was getting turned down for promotions. And one day I got fired out of the blue. Valentine's Day, of all days, I got fired. And I just got a brand new car, and a month into it, I get fired. And it happened almost all at once. First, I lost the car, and I had about a year left to pay on the car. Then I lost my house, and I had about 18 months left to pay on the house.
No.
So I had to find another place. I had a cheapy car at the time. I had a Geo Tracker that was also my second home, so to speak. So I was sleeping in and out. And then I'd also stay at the Salvation Army on occasion. And when I got fired from that job, I was able to get another job in retail, but for a lot less money. So that's how I ended up homeless, because I just couldn't keep up with a lot of the payments, because I went from making over $40,000 a year to 16.
Wow.
So
yes.
I was one of these homeless people who actually had a job. And how often is that? And if you want to see my speech, I spoke at Elevate Daytona. Here's my shirt right here.
What year was that? Last year or the year before?
I spoke July of 2018.
Oh, the year. Okay, because I went last year, and were you signing up to go again, or did you have another
Yes,
speech?
yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay,
As a
all right.
matter of fact, my audition was supposed to be April 16th, but because of the coronavirus, they had postponed it. But yeah, I did sign up again to speak at this one.
Oh, you know what? That's good to know because if Maria and I have any questions on the PowerPoints, guess who we're going to be asking?
Hey, I'm your guy. I'm not afraid of PowerPoint. So
I really appreciate that. So you know what you're saying really makes sense. What year was this that you were you lost a job with a tire and then you were
it
working?
was about 2002.
Wow. Wow, that's beautiful that you went right to work, but then yes, I'm afraid, are you a little nervous that this could all happen again after the pandemic? What do you think?
Yes, but I got a little bit smarter this time. I mean, because most of our businesses took a hit, but a friend of mine who's also one of my Toastmasters mentee, Kelly Moore, told me about a guy named Dave Ramsey and his Financial Peace program, and she's a coordinator. And I went to a few of her classes, and I liked it, and I ended up being a coordinator as well. So just having that Dave Ramsey mentality helped me better with my money.
Dave Ramsey. I have no idea who Dave
Yeah,
Ramsey is. Okay.
he's a finance guru, and he helps you get out of debt.
I
He
love that.
has all these steps. Just go to financialpeace.com and you'll find out all about Dave Ramsey. You can look at his podcast. So following a lot of his steps really helped me. And when this happened, thank goodness I was able to set my emergency money aside and pay off a lot of my debt and learn about the debt snowball and all that. Applying that is what really helped me, which I didn't do before. When I became homeless before, I had maybe 3 months ahead of, like emergency money, but I had burned through that so quickly because I wasn't expecting to lose my job, and much less get a much lesser paying job at that because they denied me unemployment too. So I got all kinds of double whammy there. So now it made me smarter. Now, granted, I'm still scared because we're in unpredictable times, but I've got enough of a cushion for, probably the next, 6 to 8 months, probably, knocked out wood, things will probably get better than that. But it just made me more aware. And then when my friend turned me on to Financial Peace University, I just hunkered down, and I'm glad I did because nobody was expecting this pandemic, and now I got the money set aside that I need, and and I've even separated my accounts between my play money, my business money, my bill money. So I've done things like that. So and my emergency money. So if emergency comes up, I don't have to dip into my main account and things like that. So it's got me a lot more money smart.
I'm not good with money. And I think, growing up, my parents were, they took care of the kids. They were very generous. They worked hard. But one of the things that was hard for me is that my parents always paid for everything. And so we're always so generous. And I thought that that's what, I'm supposed to do too. So, if we go out to eat, I would pay because that's all I knew is what to do is how to pay. And so somehow, and it's not my parents' fault because my mom would say money burns a hole in your pocket, but speaking to me about that and then what I was actually witnessing and watching, and even though they earned the right to be so generous, they worked hard, it was their money to be generous, it still made me feel like I was supposed to do this same thing. So even when I don't have money, I mean, even when I have nothing, I feel like I should pay for something. I should pay for the meal or whatever. And actually that was kind of part of the reason I did go to etiquette, because I wasn't sure etiquette training. I wasn't even sure how to handle that. So for a while, when I was making very good money in the family business, I mean, if you came to stay with me, or if I paid for everyone's dinners and lunches and meals. I didn't understand another way. And now when I look back, I realize that it was really dumb of me. I blew through so much money and spending on other people than myself. and I'm just being honest right here. Probably the first time I've even said it out loud that I am not good with money. And even now, and I think I also have that weird mentality. And I think, unfortunately, Fred, I gave it to my children too. It's like, well, let me have that lobster dinner tonight because you know what? Maybe I won't have it again. And at least I can have that one lobster dinner while I have the money. Maybe I won't, maybe tomorrow I won't, but at least, and that's such a screwed up way of thinking, isn't it? But yet it is what my head thinks. So if I have money, it does burn a hole in my pocket. I think I'm going to have to listen to Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey is his name, and the thing with that, if you want to splurge, it's okay to splurge. You just have to put it in your budget because you have to set a budget for food. You have to set a budget for what do they call it? The necessities. Food, shelter. Clothing, things like that. So you have to budget for all that. So if a lobster dinner is within your budget, so say you set like a $500 budget a month for food, that is to be included with your budget. So just remember, if you spend that $100 on a lobster dinner, you're going to have to really watch your budget from that point forward. Are you gonna be eating frozen dinners, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches from that point, or are you going to try to stick to that budget and make it work? And something I found out about budgets that I found out from Dave Ramsey is if you're disciplined enough to do a budget, whether it's by yourself or with a partner or your better half, for about the first 2 or 3 months, it's going to sting. It's I'm going to be honest, it's going to sting the first couple of months. But then from that point forward, you're going to have things figured out. Like, okay, I overspent in the food category. Maybe I need to spend less in the entertainment category to balance them out. So it's a learning curve probably for you about your first 3 months. So go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, I really don't even have a budget. I really need to do this. I didn't think that our conversation would actually be making me realize that I think that, and I need to do it for Alana, my 14-year-old, for her too. Thank you. I really need to do that.
There's an app, it's free, that Dave Ramsey put out. It's called Every Dollar.
Okay.
And you can put it on your phone, your tablet, and you can even get it online on your computer. And it gives you a breakdown. It's got categories pre-made, and you can make your own categories too. And you just basically, put the incoming and outgoing expenses. It's going to show you, where your budget is for that month. And I can assure you, Adrienne, it's going to be in the red. But then you're going to learn how to adapt from there because of how it's broken down. And then when you learn about the debt snowball, that's going to help you budget. That's going to help you budget as well.
All right. And my son too, Alex, if you're watching, I'm going to have my son. Hey, will you be my accountability partner?
If yes, I would definitely love to be your accountability partner.
I need that because I feel like I could easily say, but I'm talking honestly, this is like brute honest. I need it. My son needs it. Maybe my other son needs it. The only one that probably does it is my son, Sam, who lives in Shanghai. He's pretty strong with his money. And when he was here in September, he would say, you're not good with money, Mom, like almost every day when he would watch me go to the store. He's like, you don't shop correctly. You are just horrible with money. You're horrible. And so I have my son watch us so he can hear that.
Believe me, Adrienne, when you set that budget, it's going to come to you like, whoa, I spent that much on eating out, or I spent that much at Walmart. And you're probably going to realize a lot of the things that you buy were probably unnecessary.
You're right.
Over time.
You know what? I don't talk about this too much. There's a guilt to it too. There's a shame. So even after, like, if we have, so weirdly enough, being home and being stuck like this, where you can't really go out. And yes, we can. I said to my daughter, tomorrow, let's find a restaurant that we can, trust, obviously, that I will feel safe at, and we'll get something and we'll bring it home because I know my food. I'm not a good cook at all, but there is a shame. So like after we enjoy something or after I do buy something, then I have that buyer's remorse, that kind of like that shame, like, should I have done that? Was that the right thing? So it really does play in my head a little bit. I need to be prouder. I'm not proud of myself in money. I'm really not. So thank you. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, and then when this all settles down, I'm going to be coordinating another Financial Peace University class.
I would
Once
love that.
this settles down and I kind of know where things are going, I'm going to post it on Facebook again. And my Toastmaster mentee, Kelly Moore, she's currently teaching it right now. And she transferred over to Zoom, obviously, because they can't have it in buildings. So she just kind of picked up where they left off and is having Zoom meetings.
I love that. I love that. Would you post on your, I don't know if you mind, but I would love to see your Elevate. And I know they recorded it. Do you still have copies of yours?
Yeah, I've got a saved URL for it, and I'll be glad to send it out again, Adrienne.
Yeah, do that. And then I would like that. That is nice. And so you're right. You said to me, it's going to be more than an hour, and you're right. And I really love talking to you, Fred. We'll have to do this again because I want to learn more about, and thank you for the card, by the way. I have to say
You're
that
welcome.
Fred has a send out card. I use send out card for my son's bar mitzvah. It was amazing that I could actually all those pictures. So I could not only say thank you for their gift, but I gave them like a gift. It was like giving a gift for the gift. I got thank you cards for my thank you card, which was really amazing. So I went to look. I have like $1.72 on my point, so I have to get more. So I'll have to. It was so long ago, but they still keep your account. So I need to talk to you about what to do.
Yeah, and a friend of mine from BNI turned me on to that. She's actually a representative of send out cards, and I was sending a lot of them out during the holidays to my sphere and to my friends. And the guy that put my website together, I put a card together with him and his wife and their kids. He was blown away. He texted me. He's like, holy mackerel, dude. He's like, that card was awesome. He said, the first thing my wife said was, you got to thank Fred. And I never even met his wife. I've only seen pictures of her.
It is really, okay, so really quickly. So you're a realtor and you also are a photographer. And
real estate photographer.
So wait, you diversified yourself now too. So if something happens, so you didn't, instead of having all your eggs in that one basket, you diversified yourself. So now you have different income streams, which is so brilliant.
Yes. That was the exact concept behind it, because you get paid one way in real estate. I get paid another way with my credit repair business, and I get paid another way in my photography business. So that's exactly why I did that. Multiple streams of income, but different ways of getting paid as well.
Right. Really, really smart. And you're good at what you do too. I love that. And that was a nice card you sent. Your business card is nice. It looks like, I call business cards are either they're nice or they're winning raffle prize cards. The ones that are a little thicker. So when someone puts their hand in, it's like, oh, Fred. Okay.
Yeah.
Got the winning raffle prize card. I love that. Yeah. And then I love that you're in Daytona leadership. So you are consistently wanting to learn. Are you looking to run? You would be excellent in politics.
You're the first person that told me that, and I'd have to really think about that, because I have my opinion on politics that I'll just leave at that. But I also like making a difference, Adrienne, and because I'm homeless and I have a story to tell, and I help fight to get that shelter on ISB with the faith organization. So in some aspects, I could probably like it, but it's something I'd have to really, really think about, because I like making a difference in people's lives, and I like making a difference in the community, which is my first step in Daytona leadership. So we'll see. I mean, I'm flattered. It's something to think about, Adrienne. I appreciate that.
We really are all like-minded people. That's the beauty of Daytona leadership. And I am also leadership Osceola, leadership Orlando, and leadership Greater Hollywood in Florida. But I only do them because I know there's like a guarantee. You go to leadership and you get into a leadership class, there's actually a guarantee that every single person is professional and has a wanting to learn, cares about learning. That they're not stagnant in what they do in their life, or happy to be at one place and not, reaching out there. And also they're I want to come up with the words. You help me with a description. So when you do leadership, you're a lifelong learner, right? Mm-hmm. You're not shy. You're willing to put yourself out there. Even if you are shy, you're willing to put yourself out there. We all had to walk in that first day and meet each other. And we had to just say hello and talk to each other. And then the experience that we all did together was really fun, SimSoc. And now learning together each of the groups. And then we have the project to do. So we all get to share and do and make what makes us look really, out there. And this project that we have is kind of crazy with everything going on. So I know we're all kind of letting everything sizzle and see what's going on. But
yeah, Yeah.
I would definitely recommend for anyone listening right now, if you have an opportunity to do a leadership class and it's done by a chamber or a group that really knows what they're doing, do it. It's worth every penny. There's sponsorships too to do it, but it's the best. You know what I was able to do? Jim Cameron, who, right? We all love Jim Cameron. I did the political leadership. So I did the Public Leadership Institute, Volusia Flagler. It was 40 hours back in the fall. And that was paid for by the sponsors. And that changed my life. Like, I really do want to run for city council.
Yeah, and if I can piggyback off of that, Adrienne, I think anybody needs to do any type of leadership role, whether it's in a leadership class at the chamber, in the military, in Toastmasters. Most of mine developed through Toastmasters, and I just kept moving forward from that point because it's done a lot for me. I've been a successful leader in Toastmasters, and I've passed that on to my mentees as well. They've done a great job as well. But I have two things when it comes to leadership, and that's leaders are learners and leaders are readers. So you never stop learning, and you always want to be learning, and a lot of that's done by reading. I mean, some of it's by reading, some of it's learning from other people. So, I mean, I read a lot of John Maxwell books. I go on a lot of his masterminds, and my John Maxwell mentor even said leaders are readers.
Fred, you know what? I just fell in love with you. I really didn't get to know you, but now wow. Fred, I can't wait to see you. I cannot wait to see you. Thank you for talking with me today. Could you pass this on? Do it with your friends. So I want to know your friends and meet them. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. You are a wonderful man.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to give you a virtual hug. How about a virtual hug?
I love that.
Okay.
Thank you,
Love
Fred.
you, Adrienne. Bye.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Peace out, everybody.
Oh, I love that. Bye. Yeah. That was amazing.